I'm so excited. I can't believe this is the first time I'm finally getting to talk to you, Tyler Hubbard on Pure Country. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited that I get to see you this weekend in Canada.
Yes, I'm
Are you,
excited too.
when's
It's
the
gonna
last
be
time you
fun.
you guys were here? Like it's been a minute, obviously, with the last 2 years, but
Yeah, it's been probably 3 years now, I would say. It's been way too long. We love Canada. I love the fans up there, and I just love Canada in general. So I'm really excited to get back up there.
that'll be so fun. And I just have to say, first thing we have to talk about, because it's literally the last thing I just saw on my phone before I put it on airplane mode. Little teaser of a new song that you've got coming out. I think it's called Baby Gets Her Lovin', just by listening
Oh
to the
yeah.
clip that your son was dancing to.
Oh yeah.
What is that like? Because I mean, obviously it's cool to know that you have millions of fans that show up to your shows, but now as a parent, it's got to be like the coolest thing and feeling in the world to like have your kids actually be your biggest fans.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. They're so entertaining and so fun, and it really just reminds me of kind of being a kid too, which I think is, I don't know, it's special. So they're big fans of Daddy's music, but they're also big critics. They're my A&R. Sometimes they'd be like, no, I don't like this song. So it's been good. It's good for me, but it's really fun watching Luca. He's a performer. He loves to entertain, and every night after dinner we have these little dance parties, and he just gets up there and rocks it. It's so funny.
I mean, he's got his moves down pat, like takes his sunglasses off,
Yeah,
guitar.
yeah,
He's
he's
definitely
working the
watching you.
crowd. Oh yeah, it's so funny. It shows. It doesn't even look like he doesn't even get into it. It shows because he's just staring at me and just watching every move, and he'll start to do things that I like. What's he doing? And then I'll play a show and I'll catch myself doing something, and I'm like, oh, that's where he got it. Yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. So
So fun.
new projects coming out August 19th. Kind of a little, I would say, like early release for you before you drop the full album in January. But Dancing in the Country, why do you decide, obviously you're going on tour, but to put this batch of songs? Like how come these ones made the cut to like be the pre-tour jams that everyone
Yeah, you know, um, it was kind of hard to pick, but we just wanted to put some songs out that were fun, songs that would be really fun to play live, and that would be, the setup to the album, but also just stuff to get on out there and to get the fans familiar with before we hit the road with Keith, in the fall. So yeah, we didn't really overthink it. We obviously wanted to leave some really great songs for the album, so we held some back that I really love, quite a few, but also wanted to just get some fun ones out there. So it's a batch of, really fun songs and stuff that I can't wait to play live.
And I mean, obviously, like you've written so many songs, for FGL, for other artists. What was it like getting to go into the studio? And did you actually go into the studio and have specific days set? Like you were like, I know I'm writing for me in my solo project, or did it just kind of happen organically?
Yeah, I would say about a year ago, really accepted and processed that I was going to make an album, and sort of decided like, okay, I'm going to do this too. I understand why BK wants to do it, and I see where it's coming from. I'm starting to feel the same pull. So yeah, I'm going to do it. And so then, yeah, I mean, I wrote for probably 6 or 8 months with that intention in mind, still going into a write. I would always say, no pressure. I want to just write a great song. We don't have to write for me, but I am making an album and I would like to write for me. So if it fits. So that was great. And it was really fun. And it was a pretty cool season of just like self-exploration quite a bit, because it was like, okay, what is my story? How do I want to, present myself to the world, and who do I want to be, and outside of FGL, and who am I? And so it was really fun, honestly, and an important season, I believe. And then about half the album was songs that was already written, that I had written over the last few years, and that were just sort of sticking around on my phone and hadn't got cut by anybody else. And I was like, man, these songs they feel like me, and they feel really authentic and where I'm at. So like a song like 35, for example, has been written 2 years ago. And
Oh,
so
cool.
maybe even longer. So half the album are those songs, and then half the album's songs that I wrote, after I sort of processed that that's what I was going to do.
Right. I mean, 35 is definitely like, even just when you say the title, it immediately gets stuck in my head in like the best way. And I'm glad that I feel like, as a parent now, I'm a parent and I totally get this. Your music is of course going to change because your story's changed, your life's changed. Everything is, perspective is different in life. So it's cool to hear, you're still the same Tyler Hubbard that was in FGL. That guy is still there when you hear a song like 35s, but then you hear a song like Way Home and I'm like, oh, you can just see where, you've grown and you've, learned so much becoming a parent and a husband, which is really cool.
Totally. Yeah. And I think that's the most exciting part of this new season and chapter is just getting to connect on a deeper personal level and show the different sides of who I am. And like you said, FGL is a big part of who I am, big part of my life story, and a big reason of, for why I'm here, where I'm at today and getting to do this. But yeah, a lot more dynamic has, a lot of maturity and a lot of different things happened over the last 10 years that I'm excited to now step into this next chapter and talk about and sing about and connect with, people that are my age that, again, when we were doing FGL, they were 25 as well, like we were, and now they're 35. And, I'm just sort of, I'm watching our fan base evolve as well and grow and mature. And so it's really fun to see people that I connected with 10 years ago still connecting, but for different reasons.
Yeah. I feel like Steven and I were similar age to you and now have our son. And like, we listen to a song like Anything Goes and we're like, we still party to it when we don't have to, have our son with us, but we listen to a song like Way Home and we're like, man, that resonates with us too. So it's cool that, like you said, you have so many fans that have grown up through the same seasons of life and they can follow you on this Tyler Hubbard journey that, will be that next season for all of you and your fans.
Right. Totally. Very exciting.
So then going to, go out on tour with Keith, what's the feeling like getting ready for tour as Tyler Hubbard and knowing that like you're going to be going out and playing all new songs and kind of getting like this fresh new start? And, it's got to be is it a weird feeling going into rehearsals on your own and doing your own thing?
It's definitely different. But I'm really enjoying it. I really am. It's been re-inspiring and re-energizing. So I wouldn't trade it for the world, but it's definitely been an adjustment. There's moments where I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I'm not in a band anymore. And like, I'm not waiting on BK. BK's not coming. So let's get to work. I'm not, it's just, it's really fun to be honest. But there was that moment I would say of, kind of stepping out, taking a leap of faith and kind of getting out of my comfort zone, and when I really realized like, all right, I'm going to do this thing. It's going to be different, but I'm going to embrace it. And I feel supported by my team. So I'm going to rock this. And so it's just been great energy and excitement ever since.
When the song with Tim McGraw came out, Undivided, had you already made the conscious decision, like, I'm going to do this? Or was that kind of prior to like going full force?
That was actually good question. That was prior to that. And in my head, I told BK, because once he wanted to do the solo thing, I said, you go do the solo thing. I want to support you. And for me, that means like, we got to take a break from FGL because I can't do both. Right. And I want you to choose which one you want. And he wanted to pursue the solo thing. So I said, that sounds good for me. I'll just be a stay-at-home dad and I'll be a songwriter full-time in Nashville, and I'll collaborate when it's appropriate. I may collaborate with friends when we write a song together or when it's appropriate. So that was kind of where the headspace was for me that season, that year, so I had no expectation of being a solo artist. But I did really enjoy making music with friends and I did some stuff with Lathan Warlick and Tim McGraw and Brantley Gilbert and a few others that I would it just happened to work out that way. So I thought, well, I'll just be like a collaborative artist maybe. And then that, that was fun. But then again, there was a void, there was a hole, and there was something missing. And it was the whole piece of the puzzle of recording a record, sharing your heart and soul, and then watching it come together live, so that was what I was really missing. So I'm really thankful that I decided to go ahead and do this thing.
And I think, making yourself kind of wait until the moment when you were ready for it and doing it at the right time for you is so important, because this music it's going to mean a lot to you and you want to make sure you do it the right way. So I think
no doubt
it's cool to see that you took your time that you needed and now you're going to go full force. And I know it's going to be epic and incredible. I cannot wait for the full album. Last thing, just because, you know, I didn't want to talk too much about it because I think it is important. I heard you say this with Bobby Bones, like you've got to fully focus on this, you know, and not be doing both. But obviously a lot of the FGL fans are going to be following you on your journey because they're fans of you. So anyone who's out there listening and wondering, like, you know, why was this a conscious decision to make that you guys go your separate ways? What would you want to say to fans who maybe are like still going, but wait, why are they doing this?
Yeah. I would just say, you know, it was something that BK came to me with, a desire, a true passion, and a need to go do a solo project or solo season or whatever we want to call this. And so he approached me and said, you know, told me his heart, told me what he wanted to do. We were kind of at a fork in the road with, you know, we were on our 5th album. We were about to release our 5th album. We were almost out of our record deal. So there was it was time to make some decisions and figure out what was next for us. Again, I didn't expect for that to be what was next for us, but
Right.
I wanted to support him and I wanted to encourage what he felt like he needed to do. So I did that. And like I said, I just decided I'd be a songwriter for a while. And I'd say a year or so into that is when I decided, you know, I understand what BK's doing and why he wants to do this. And I understand having a personal story and wanting to have your voice. So that's sort of how it all came about. And like I said, in the Bobby Bones podcast, you know, it was important for me to pick one, to do one or the other. And so that was sort of where my boundary was. I told BK, I love you, buddy, and I want to support you. So if this is important, I want you to be able to do it, but I'm not willing to do both. So it's your choice. You can decide. It's either FGL or solo. And so when he decided to, you know, he called me a few days later and said, I'd like to do the solo thing. And I appreciate the support. For me, that was like, okay, well, we'll hang the FGL thing up, you know, we'll hang up those boots and we'll pull out some new ones and see where it goes. So that's kind of, you know, how it transpired and came together. And I'm thankful it did. You know, like I said, I didn't understand it at first, but looking back now, I'm like really grateful that BK followed his heart and his passion and made that bold step himself and, you know, kind of forced me into this cool season that I'm really excited about now.
Well, in best case scenario, we still get music from both of you. So
you get double the music.
It's like two albums for the price. Yes. But okay, I'm so excited. You're heading out on the road with Keith Urban, Speed and Now World Tour, new album coming January 27th and new EP coming out August 19th. Thank you, Tyler Hubbard, for joining us on Pure Country.
Thanks, Shannon. Nice chatting. We'll see you soon.